welcome to Tasmania TV. Today I'm going to be comparing different kinds of foundation, and I don't mean different brands, I mean different kinds of foundation. So you can overlook the brands that I'm using. I'm just using whatever brands that I happen to have at home. What we will be focusing on is the different textures, how they affect your skin, what works best for what skin types, and so on. There are other versions of foundations than the ones that I feature in this video. Like, I'm not going to be featuring BB creams or CC creams, for instance. I'm not going to be featuring powder foundations. I'm going to be focusing on the main four ones. The first one is liquid foundation, and more specifically water-based. I'm going to be using this one by Lumine as an example, but I have a bunch of different ones. I just preferred this one, so that's why I'm going to be using that one. The second kind is creamy or cake foundation, which is oil-based. This specific one is coconut oil-based, and it is by Face. It is called the Picture Perfect foundation. The third foundation we're going to be focusing on is mineral foundation, and I'm using this one by Bare Minerals. And then the last one is silicone-based airbrush foundation. So we have both water-based, oil-based, silicone-based, and then mineral-based. I'm not wearing any makeup at all right now, and I'm going to divide my face into 4 patches, and I'm going to try each foundation on one of the patches of my face. And I'm going to start by using the water-based liquid one. I'm just going to be applying this with my fingers today. I have really dry skin, and that kind of works well with most water-based liquid foundations, but some can come off looking pretty patchy. This one is actually really, really good. It doesn't give me any patchiness at all, but I've experienced other ones that just come off looking cakey on my face because my face is too dry for water-based foundation. So I'll just add a little bit more. On the other side, I'm going to be using the cake foundation or studio foundation or cream foundation or whatever you want to call it. Cream foundation, being oil-based, it does give a bit of moisturizer back into my skin, so it works really well for dry skin using oil-based foundations. And also, creamy foundations are a lot more high coverage than most liquid foundations. This liquid one has a medium coverage, and the cake one or studio one has a full coverage. It's almost like a concealer, so I do use this as a concealer from time to time. I actually rarely use it on my entire face because it is very, very high coverage and I don't always need that. So for dry skin, oil-based foundation is a good idea because oil is moisture. And then the silicone-based one, this is not the right color for me at all. I just didn't have the right shade, so this is going to look a little bit too yellow. I'm using this one by Airbase right now. Silicone-based foundation or airbrush foundation based on silicone is also fantastic for dry skin, but it works really well for other skin types as well. That's where silicone-based foundation actually stands out because it works well for oily skin too. Any oil-based products don't work well with oily skin because it's just going to make it oilier. And water-based foundation, if your skin is really, really oily, it's not going to stay on very well. But silicone-based is waterproof, and it's just, yeah, more long-lasting. But then again, airbrushing foundation might not be for everyone, but as you can see, I don't need my airbrush to apply it. That's the good thing about the silicone formula. It's thicker in texture than water-based airbrush foundations. So yeah, and with this, if you do use it with an air gun, you can build up the layers and get it to be super high coverage. But you can also choose to just do one light splash and have it be just very, very light. That's the pro of using an air gun. But then again, you don't have to be able to use airbrushing foundation. And then the last one, which is mineral foundation, is not the best option for dry skin like I have. I'm going to be using one of these kabuki brushes for this. Because my skin is already dry, applying a dry product directly onto the skin kind of makes it a little bit itchy, and just it's not comfortable and it doesn't attach as well. Maybe if I moisturize right before I apply it, but then it can end up looking a little bit cakey. So mineral foundation works best, I would say, either for oily skin, like really, really oily skin, or mixed skin. But for dry skin, it's not the best. It's not what I recommend. But I mean, if you do have dry skin and you've found a mineral foundation that works for you, that's awesome. It's all about finding kind of your thing. These are just my recommendations as a professional makeup artist. So I now have my 4 squares on, and you don't really see that much difference. I don't have that many errors in my skin, so I don't really need to correct that much. I just kind of need to even out the skin tone a little bit. And they all get the job done. Yes, they do. If I'm gonna be completely honest, the most comfortable one of these is the airbrush foundation, but the downside to airbrush foundation is that when you use it with an air gun, it takes a little bit longer to dry before you can continue on with the rest of your makeup, while the other ones are just set instantly. The first 2 ones, like the water-based and oil-based one, you just set with powder, or if you want that nice dewy finish, you don't set them at all. I do recommend setting them around the eyes though, because they will crease from your crow's feet and things like that. But you don't need to set the airbrush foundation with any powder at all. That's one of the big pluses about that. And obviously mineral foundation you don't need to set because it's already a powder. So in that sense, mineral foundation is quicker. But I'm just not a big fan of mineral foundation on myself. I do have friends who are really, really happy with mineral foundation, and I know that some people find that it has really great coverage for acne or scarring or whatever it might be that you want to cover up. So again, it's all about finding what works for you. This is just to do like a small recommendation and test for you guys, and maybe give you some things to consider before you head out and search for the right foundation. And then once you've decided on what kind of foundation you want, you still have that kind of meticulous last piece of the test, and that is to find the right shade for you, which is always like hard work. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you guys have any questions about foundations or anything that I mentioned in this video, post that in the comments and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!